Today we're diving into a whole new way to build AI applications, something called vibe coding. It's this idea that you can just describe what you want and an AI builds it for you. Sounds amazing, right? But there's this massive roadblock hiding in the data layer, and we're going to break down exactly what it is and how to fix it.
So let's just start with the big question that really frames this whole thing. Is your data, the very foundation of your AI, actually the thing that's holding you back? And you know what? For a ton of developers out there, the answer is a really frustrating yes. To really get why, first we need to look at this absolute revolution that's happening on one side of the development process. It's a trend that is making things incredibly fast, super intuitive. They're calling it vibe coding. So what in the world is vibe coding? Well, imagine just talking to an AI, describing the app you want to build, and then watching it generate the user interface and the logic right there in front of you. Seriously, tools like Anthropic's Claude or Lovable are already making this a reality. You just describe the vibe of the app, and the AI literally builds it. It's wild.
And this really shows the breakthrough, right? The front end, that's the part of the app you actually see and interact with, is getting ridiculously easy and fast to build. It's all thanks to this completely new way of working.
But that's only half the story. Now we've got to flip to the other side of the coin, to the hidden foundation that everything is actually running on. Because this is where we hit a massive, massive bottleneck.
And here's the reveal. While that front end is just flying ahead, the back end, that complex web of databases and data systems that you don't see, is fundamentally broken for this new AI era. The tools we've been using to manage our data just haven't kept up with the revolution happening on the surface.
And this slide, this really gets to the heart of the pain. Developers are stuck doing everything manually. They're using these old-school databases like Postgres that are built for neat little rows and columns, but these systems just choke on modern data like images or PDFs. So what do? You're forced to stitch together all these separate systems, one for your records, another for search, another for seeing connections. It just becomes this fragile, complicated mess that you have to maintain by hand. So the crucial point here is that this isn't just about some inconvenient tools. No, we're dealing with a fundamental mismatch between the way our old databases were built and what modern AI actually needs. Old tools, new problems.
This comparison just lays it all out, plain and simple. Over on the left, you've got your traditional databases. Think spreadsheets. They're built for structured records, rows and columns, simple transactions. But on the right, that's what modern AI needs. It has to understand everything: documents, images, audio, and all the subtle relationships between all of that messy data. It needs a knowledge graph. It needs a memory for AI agents. Things these old databases were never, ever designed for.
And this brings us right to the core insight. See, traditional apps were all about simple record keeping. We call them CRUD apps. That's just an acronym for create, read, update, and delete data. But as the slide says, AI applications are not CRUD apps. They are knowledge systems. They don't just store data, they have to understand it, connect it, and learn from it. It's a whole different ballgame.
Okay, so if the old foundation is basically obsolete, what does a new one, rebuilt from the ground up for AI, actually look like? Well, this is where Berry AI comes into the picture. So how does this actually solve the problems we were just talking about? Well, first off, remember that tangled mess of stitched-together systems? Berry unifies everything into one place. And instead of being stuck with rigid rows, it's built for complex modern data. It automatically builds those critical knowledge graphs we mentioned, and it provides a reliable, secure memory for AI agents to use. So it's one system designed for AI from the very beginning.
Okay, so where does a new kind of database like this fit into the bigger puzzle of building an AI application today? Let's take a look at the full picture.
This slide shows you the complete modern AI native stack. You see, on one end, you've got that vibe layer, using tools like Claude to just whip up the user interface. On the other end, you have the powerhouse LLMs and AI agents that are providing all the intelligence. And right there, in the middle, connecting them, that's Berry AI. It is the crucial knowledge layer that was missing all along. It's the piece that makes the entire stack actually work together.
This is just such a perfect way to put it. Just like you can conversationally create your UI, Berry helps you conversationally build and manage that complex knowledge layer underneath. It's bringing that same vibe coding philosophy to the back end.
Now, this isn't just some cool new piece of tech. It's arriving at a moment when all these major trends are converging to make a solution like this absolutely essential. So the big question is, why now? This timeline really shows you the natural evolution of things. In the past, we cracked the code on making the front end simple with vibe coding. And that brought us to today, the present, where all the pain and complexity of the back end became the obvious bottleneck. So, the future? It's the logical next step, bringing that same simplicity to the back end. It's just an inevitable progression.
And look, this isn't happening in a vacuum. It's being pushed forward by these huge market forces. I mean, think about it. Pretty much every app is becoming an AI app. AI agents are everywhere, and they need a reliable memory to work properly. Big companies, they need to be able to control and audit their data. And finally, data isn't just text anymore, right? It's images, audio, video, and it all has to work together seamlessly. So we'll leave you with this one final thought. For years, the sheer complexity of our data systems has really limited the scope of our ambition. And this brings us to a really exciting question. What incredible new things will we finally be able to build when our foundation, our data itself, can finally keep up with the speed and creativity of our ideas?